Welcome to Van Tate's Sports Office, an in-depth look at the world of sports, featuring exclusive interviews with our KRQE News Sports Director, Van Tate, sponsored by Caesars Sportsbook at Route 66 Casino.
Sports Office has a special guest. I guess all of them are special, right? But this guy, I've known him for a while, Brandon Gibson, striking coach, MMA and boxing. Call him an independent contractor, but he gets the job done, right?
Yeah, assassin for hire, Van. Thanks for having me.
And assassin for hire, huh? We gotta talk about what you do when you're not there too. You know, which is
absolutely
director of the botanical gardens, huh?
Yeah, the whole biopark, the zoo, the botanic gardens, Tingley Beach Aquarium. That's my day job, and then at night I'm training other wild, dangerous animals.
So I told you he was interesting. So Brandon Gibson, tell me what have you been up to lately? Because I know that you stay busy. And we always seem to have some great fighters coming out of here. And on a lot of UFC cards, there's always somebody from Albuquerque.
You know, Albuquerque has such just a rich history and tradition of incredible boxers and incredible mixed martial artists. And, you know, being part of this community, I grew up in it and just entrenched in it. And I've been coaching from a young age. Yeah. And very grateful, Van, to get to learn from some of the best and work with some of the best. But right now, I have a protege, Aaron Pico. And we have a real big fight in Abu Dhabi for UFC July 26th against an number 4 ranked, undefeated Russian, Movsar Elivov, who is 19-0. But many view him as the number 1 contender. So if Aaron can go in there and pull this upset off like I know he can, we're right in the mix for UFC title contention.
What now, Aaron, he's got quite the background, man. You know, like Olympic team stuff and all of that stuff in his background. It started from an early age.
Yeah, I think he started wrestling at 5 years old. He was a world champion on the U.S. cadet team. Yeah. He was Olympic hopeful. He was also brought up boxing under Freddie Roach and was a sparring partner for Miguel Cotto for many years. Yeah. And, I mean, he's just the most blue-chip MMA athlete you could find, and with a heart of gold and a just mindset that is bulletproof.
And with all of that said, how easy is it to work with him and get him to take up the you know, like your advice and all that stuff?
He's one of the most coachable athletes I've ever got to work with, Van. He's just so hardworking, so dedicated, and most importantly, he's intelligent, which makes my job way easier. He's just a smart young man who gets it, and I don't need to worry about him. He's so disciplined. You know, he's like just a regimented individual, and he's in bed every night. I don't got to worry about nothing else. He's focused on the mission and being the best in the world.
So your nickname, Six Guns, what is that all about?
Well, you know, I grew up boxing. I spent a lot of time at like Jack Candelaria, and I was one of the few white kids in there boxing, and they said I was like Billy the Kid, a 6-gun shooter. Oh, okay. Had fast hands, quick on the draw, quick hands.
So that's where it came from.
Yeah, that's where it came from, and I just always
it just stuck.
Hey, it's a good one. I'll take it.
Yeah, it is a good one, man. 6 Guns, you know, like when I first heard it, I was thinking that you training these guys, that you got their hands going in so many directions that they call you 6 Guns. But that's you know, that makes sense what you just said.
Yeah, you know, and it's been a cool nickname, especially for being here in New Mexico and like our Old West history, and I think it's kind of fitting and classic. So, and tell people who else you've worked with who may have made it to, like even in boxing, that people might hear the name and go, oh, okay. Yeah, you know, I coached at Jackson Wink. I learned a lot under Mike Winklejohn and Greg Jackson for over 20 years, and, you know, had a long boxing and martial arts career before that. But, you know, my probably most famous student is John Jones. I've been with John for 17 fights. Carlos Condit, Cowboy Cerrone, UFC champion Cody Garbrandt, Alistair Overeem, Andre Arlovsky. So a lot of Hall of Famers, and then a lot of great local boxers here, like a Big Leo, who's just a beast Russian heavyweight. Jody Escabel, one of my favorites, who's also a great community servant. And it's been a great blessing in my life to get to work with so many incredible athletes.
You know, is John really retired, man? Like, you know, like I've been hitting him up, but he hadn't got back to me yet. And I'm just going like, come on, John, you're not retired, man.
I would say John's on a sabbatical.
Yeah, because you know, that is different when you say you're going to retire. Like even in football or whatever it is, those guys be, you know, like they be at press conferences crying and stuff because people don't see all the hard work and everything they poured into it.
Yeah.
So it's more than emotional. It's like, man, I'm walking away from this, like, because it's your life.
A lifetime of dedication goes into it too, right? It's like that's all they know. That's all they've worked for is those goals. But I know John can accomplish anything he wants in this world, especially when he sets his mind to it. But it was interesting last week because on July 3rd, President Trump said he wants to have a UFC fight on the grounds of the White House.
And John was like, I'm not retired anymore.
John said, now that's something that will get me out of bed. It's like the money or an 18th world championship, that isn't getting them super hyped up. There's always going to be a next contender, but doing something historic, iconic, like being the main event at a UFC fight on the 4th of July at the White House, that's historic.
So he's really thinking about. You think that he's gonna probably have another one, huh?
Yeah, I think he's gonna, get checked out and make sure, talk with his family. But I told him I'm always down for another adventure. I'm willing to put in the work, and if he feels like we got another rodeo in it, let's go.
Crazy,
let's
man.
Go.
And now you got these other guys, like Condit and Cowboy, and those guys finally retired. Did you have to help them out? Like, hey, man, maybe,
I think they come to it themselves. I always try to be truthful with them, and we got a long life after this crazy game is done, and we got young men to care for and provide, and families to love, and other careers to go and conquer. Yeah. So I always want their health at the forefront of this game. You want to have
movement while you're living that other part of your life instead of just sitting in the corner.
Exactly. All professional sports are tough and can take a toll on your body over the years, but the fight game's different. There's other consequences. So just try to be real cognizant. And this is a game where it's better to get out early than late.
Yeah.
And I think we've gotten to see that with a lot of the great fighters from Albuquerque that, they don't overstay their welcome.
Right. And who do you have? Do you have anybody that you can mention that's up and coming that we should be looking out for?
Well, just last week I had the Olympic gold medalist, heavyweight wrestling, 3-time NCAA champ, Gable Stevenson.
He's training with you now.
So he came out to Albuquerque, stayed with me. We worked so hard every night, and he really wants to make that transition into MMA. And, I met him. He came down for John Jones camp and really helped us on the wrestling and grappling side, which a blessing. Like, we couldn't ask for a better training partner. And, same attributes that I give to the other guys, like intelligent, hardworking, graceful, motivated, all the skills that I'm like, this guy could be a UFC champion in 2 years.
The conversation is just getting started. We have more on the other side. I know you have stories, man, of where you've seen guys, or maybe even stories of like, I can't believe he can do that. Somebody's super. I'm sure John has probably done some stuff where you're just like going like, I can't believe he could do that.
I've got to corner 25 UFC title fights over my career.
Wow, that's good, man.
And so a lot of adventures, being just a kid from Albuquerque, getting to travel the world through this crazy game has been incredible, Van. Like, fighting is loved around the world. Wow. So definitely a lot of adventures, but some of them come to mind aren't always those celebratory nights. Sometimes it's the hard nights where we didn't get the belt, where we came up a little short. But I'll never forget Carlos Condit versus Robbie Lawler. We're in Las Vegas. A knockdown, drag-out championship fight that many feel like Carlos got robbed on.
Well,
hey.
I saw that
stats,
fight, man.
Stats.
I was mad for about a week after that fight.
Yeah, and I think one day it'll probably be a UFC Hall of Fame fight, man. We'll see. But I'll never forget, it's just kind of like quiet moments like that when, you're just with your brother. And it was, we went back up to our room, and one of our friends came over and said, I know you guys are down. Everybody loves just steak and eggs. And so we were there in the kitchen at 3 a.m., so exhausted, making steak and eggs in the hotel room. But those were the kind of nights, just like breaking bread. Like, you know what? Hey, life's still good. We're still blessed. And, let's keep on working towards the next goal. So, it's not always the big lights and the gold belts. I mean, sometimes it's just, why are you really in this game? And what do I want?
Just a little brotherhood.
Exactly. And that's much more than just the coaching aspect or the stats or the wins and losses. It's like, man, I'm there for Carlos for our whole life. And, here we are a decade removed from that. And we go get coffee. We order pizza, watch the fights together with our boys. And that's what I'm really in this game for.
Steak and eggs at 3 a.m, man. What kind of steak was it, man?
T-bones. I'll never forget it. Scrambled eggs and T-bones. This guy Mike Dolce, who was like a nutritionist for Carlos.
All right, good.
I'll never forget that.
Man. Was the steak good, or was it just
was
it
so
3 a.m. food?
No, it was so good.
Oh, really?
It was so good. But
I'm talking about suck the bones good. Like
we were like famished. It's like you give everything in those title fights, and we're down, our kind of head hanging, and then you get that steak in front of you, and it was like puffed up again.
Fluffy eggs, or like
big old fluffy, nice scrambled eggs. Yeah, but a juicy T-bone with it, and made some coffee and just laughed.
Tell me it was a gourmet coffee. You didn't come.
Oh no, no Keurig K-cup. No, we made some good stuff.
Okay, yeah, no, it wasn't no like the cheap coffee that
No, he showed up like that guy Mike. He had the bag ready.
Wow, man, he came in with the stuff.
A celebratory. It should have been celebratory steak, and it still was. It was like there was nothing to hang our head low about. Wow, so it was a celebratory steak.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
And sometimes after these fighting events, we get done, depending on kind of where we're at, it's usually 1, 2 a.m. after the press conference, and everything's closed. That man was prepared that night, so I took notes.
And speaking of the other stuff that you do, Stevie Wonder wrote a song about you, right? Living just enough for the city.
Ooh. Yes. I love working for the city, man.
So tell people what you do and how's that been for you as far as you trying to juggle all of this stuff.
Yeah. I started working for the city of Albuquerque in 1998. I was 16 years old. I started as a lifeguard. And I would say I'm a product of this community. I learned to box at Jack Candelaria. I took swimming lessons at Wilson Pool in the International District. I was riding my bike to the police station.
You are Albuquerque, man. If we had a pageant, you're Mr. Albuquerque.
Well, I think I'm one of many greats in this town, but I do love it with all my heart. And I started working for the city in 1998. I work as a lifeguard and just kind of worked my way up through the ranks. And right now, currently, I'm the director of the BioPark, and so I get to work with the most incredible team in my day job van, like zookeepers and horticulturists and conservation-focused stewards of our community. And it's a beautiful. And then I see happy kids all day, every day. Yeah. It's a great place to be. And then then I switch gears, and then I get into the gym at night and bite down and get these guys boxing and kicking as hard as they can.
BioPark. So you do the area where the aquarium is and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm. And the zoo and Tingley Beach.
So if I show up at the aquarium with a cast iron skillet and some breading, you're not letting me in?
No shark steaks for us. No. No silvery minnows. No.
Yeah.
No.
You've watched this thing evolve and develop, man. Like, are there any plans? Do you know of any plans to do more stuff with it? Like anything that you can talk about? I want to hear.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm happy to talk about it. Okay. The BioPark's fortunate because we have a gross receipts tax. So about $23 million a year in Albuquerque funds goes towards the BioPark. So we've built incredible new habitats for the animals, like our Asia exhibit, Australia, the Heritage Farm. So we're always growing and expanding, and we got some really great things coming up. One thing I will talk about, we have a gorilla habitat, and it's kind of out of date. It's not meeting like the modern standards we're striving for that we set with areas like Asia. So it's one of my personal goals to build an incredible habitat for the gorillas that are in our care at the BioPark in the next couple years.
Many people would appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
You ever have feedback from people who know you work over there, like, "Hey, man, this is great," or?
Oh, absolutely. It's a great role to have in our community because the BioPark's so beloved. There's 1.3 million guests that come through those doors a year. From young to old, everybody loves to see the animals and the plants and the fish, and it's just a great place to work. And it's still a challenge to balance it out. The BioPark's 98 years old. So there's a lot of old areas that need renovation, a lot of infrastructure investments, and then also, balance that out with incredible areas for the animals and guests.
Stay with us. More conversation on the other side.
We'll get back to the episode in a moment. Monica Wicki here, host of New Mexico Living. I wanted to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Route 66 Casino and Caesars Sportsbook. If you love sports and like having a little action on the game, Caesars Sportsbook is your go-to destination. For rewards and more info, go to Route66Casino.com. Now back to the episode.
You ever think about combining your two worlds, man, having a fight out there? You know, John was wanting to fight in the White House lawn. You ever want to fight at the BioPark, man? Like
it's like that
MMA Under the Stars.
100 men versus one gorilla. I think I'd lose my job if we let that happen, man.
Oh, man, you know what? I'm not sure, man. You know, like you can make a lot of money. You know, make it pay-per-view only. And the people who buy the tickets to get in, you know, like those tickets are like starting at $500.
Oh, man.
Now
there'd be a lot of bodies stacked up. Yeah, it wouldn't be good for mankind.
I think mankind would just lose, man.
We all think we're tough, and then you get close, and you're like, nah.
Who's going to be the first guy to take the first swing? Because we know he's not making it out.
I always say, too, everybody's like, oh, I would do this move on a gorilla. And it's like, and it wouldn't do anything. They fight other gorillas all day, every day.
Yeah, man.
Who hit way harder than I ever could.
Yeah, this is
and they're just fine.
You take one punch, man, your whole face is broken. And,
yeah.
You know, you are broken.
Yeah, the gorillas win, hand down. But, yeah, if it could be a good fundraiser for the BioPark. I'm just kidding.
Wouldn't that be something, man? You know, and then people would probably copy it.
I'd lose my job. I'd lose my job real quick. But I love animals. I want to give them the best care, but
yeah, you would.
It's
man.
funny.
They'll tell you, you're out of here.
Yeah, I would be done.
But what about having do you guys ever thought about maybe having a fight there in that? I mean, because I don't know how much, you know, like fighting is different. You know, combat sports is different. And not everybody embraces it, but has there ever been an ideal? Because you're in both worlds. That's all the reason why I'm asking you.
That's an interesting thought. You know, we do a lot of events at the BioPark. Most of it's summer concerts and River of Lights and Blue at the Zoo.
Even if it was there, where the summer concerts are, because like if you put an octagon up in the top there, you know, it'd be kind of entertaining.
It is a beautiful setting.
That's what I'm saying. Like
it would be that juxtaposition of like violence and beauty.
Yeah.
Dude in the Japanese garden, it looked like a Street Fighter background, you know, on a video game.
Man, you could, that thing would, somebody would probably broadcast it.
You got my wheels spinning now. Now I'm transitioning my promoter brain.
Now when it finally start happening, if it's controversial, people will be, that doggone van. I saw talking to Brandon.
Black tie only. Ooh, I like this idea.
Yeah, black tie only, man. You could serve food.
Mm-hmm. Cocktails, hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, you know, and then
classy. It would be classy.
Yeah. Well, so if it's what kind of dinner we're talking about? What kind of food we're talking about?
Shrimp cocktails, like for starters. You know, nice champagne. Classy.
And just, you know, in honor of you and Carlos's steak dinner, maybe T-bones.
T-bones. I like that too.
That would,
you know, there would be some cool.
Hang on.
There'd be some cool places in Albuquerque to have fun. Like, could you imagine the top of the crest?
Yeah, that would be wild, man. You know what? That would actually be at nighttime if they just have the light up the octagon. Man, that would actually be something to see.
There'd be some cool spots we could.
Oh wow! You know, and if you had a drone video to show that would actually be a wicked production, man.
You know, I'm a '80s kid, and we all talk about how the '80s like action movies inspired all of us to do martial arts.
Yeah, like
Bloodsport and Lionheart. And I always think back to Lionheart. They were like fighting in a pool, and they were fighting in a parking lot with cars around them, and like.
Yeah, see there your mind is going now. So.
I'm tired of Vegas arenas. Let's do something cool.
Used to, and then you know, like put Albuquerque even more on the map as far as combat goes, because we do have some scenery that you're not going to find other places.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Take advantage of it. Hey, so what about Brandon's like, this brother's crazy.
I love it. No, I love it, man. We're going to have a Van Brandon promotion coming soon.
There you go, man. And then we, you know, like, let's make the most of our resources here.
Yeah.
Man.
I like this.
But there's so many different spots there. You actually could like have it in somebody's backyard that is so picturesque.
Oh, for sure.
There. You know what I mean?
West Side Bluffs looking out over the Rio Grande. And
yeah, you could actually go in somebody's backyard, man, and backyard MMA card, man. But you know, like with the sanction and all that stuff, there's a lot of hurdles to get over. Brandon's like, stop it.
Like, just get that TikTok live going and let's get the YouTube money. Yeah.
A continuous channel, right? Do you ever like attend like some of the high school wrestling events here, stuff like that? You see guys who might catch your eye, like, man, that guy's pretty good. He probably would make a good transition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, high school wrestling and then like youth amateur boxing. You know, I try to go to a lot of the events here, jiu-jitsu tournaments. And, you know, I would just encourage like, man, a little more cross training. Like there's so many good gyms to go to, sparring to go to.
Yeah, see, when you talk about cross-training, I even think, like, the football team should be, like, training with you guys or something like that during the off-season. You know,
absolutely.
The guys who are still in town, you know, just different things like that. And I say that because the mindset is different. You know, like our mindset is different. Football players' mindset is different from a fighter's mindset because I've had this conversation with John, and he remembered, I'm sure, if you brought it up, him and John Dotson, the two Johns.
Yeah.
And Dotson was saying he played football because he's done both of them, and he said, we were crazy. I said, no, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
They close the cage and they lock it. Cuckoo.
Yeah. No, it is. It's just different. It's a different mindset for sure. But you know that there is a lot of cross training that goes on, and I've been able to work with some great athletes that kind of call Albuquerque home, but they may play for other teams, like a great NFL running back, Kenyon Barber, and then Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman used to come down off season and love to hit mitts, so we had a lot of training back in the day together too. Man,
that's wild, man. I did not know that. I know Alex and Sam real well. Me and Sam were in college together. So,
okay.
Yeah. Small world, man.
You know, everybody loves fighting, and that's kind of what we were talking about. Like, you could see movie stars, musicians, everybody's ringside at the UFC, and they're losing their mind over their favorite fighter. Yeah. You know, I think the fighting sports just kind of transcend everybody to like a core element.
Everybody loves fighting. You just heard it from Brandon Gibson, MMA and boxing striking. Well, MMA and boxing striking coach. You were great. Thank you so much for coming on. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Van, man. I love all that you do for our community and elevating our whole sporting community. So thank you.
All right, man. Next time we have to get him here and talk about BKFC. That's the next thing for him, I'm sure. Right? We'll see.
I still got one more in me.
All right. Well, Fernando Perez behind the controls. We'll see you next time.